now I love this story. This week, a team of archaeologists will be burrowing underground a Wirral pub car park in search of something very special. It has long been believed that a Viking boat is buried underneath the site at the Railway Inn in Meols, after remains were allegedly unearthed by workmen back in 1938. Well, now, a professional archaeological investigation at the site is set to reveal what lies beneath. Professor Stephen Harding is an acknowledged expert on Viking settlement and culture on Wirral and joins me now. Stephen, Professor, how exciting is this? My goodness.
Oh, it's brilliant, Kevin, because I'm a local. I was brought up around here in Morton, Overchurch and Lingham, just around the corner from the railway in pub. And as youngsters, we used to play in the clay quarry, clay pits and things, and get chased, I must say. But we hadn't realised the significance of this clay stuff because it's kept preserved this ancient vessel, which is there. We know that now, which is buried about 3-4 meters underneath the front entrance of the railway inn at Meols.
It's unbelievable. I mean, when I mentioned the word Viking, I'm sure thousands of listeners were probably thinking, did he just say Viking heritage in Wirral? What's going on here? What's the connection?
Well, we're not sure it's Viking yet. We know it's very old. It's design of the vessel, the clinker, which is overlapping planks, which was, as you said, recorded in 1938 by the workmen when they were working on the pub. That is consistent with a Nordic origin, but of course that style of boat building, which started by the Scandinavians, continued. I mean, right to now, you get lifeboats with that design, but from its position, 3-4 meters down, it's got to be very, very, very old. Yeah. And we think it's probably from that age, from the depth and some calculations that it fits. It fits the bill, whether it's Viking, Anglo-Scandinavian, or whatever. It appears very old, but and it's been quite a detective story to find it, because this is not an excavation by any means. What we're doing is we're going down with these long, thin metal tubes called augers to probe deep under the ground and pick up samples of the material down there. The clay, other substructure stuff, and wood material. And it was yesterday actually that we hit the wood for the first time. So we're now bringing out some wood samples, which we can then get analysed back in the laboratory to find out, 1, how old the stuff is, 2, where it possibly came from, 3, state of preservation, it's exciting.
And there, so once you analyse that then, and if it is there, how well is it likely to have been preserved over all of these years?
Well, in this blue clay, it's a very good preservative, and the big Viking boat discoveries in Norway, in Oslo, Gokstad and Osberg, were found in similar material. The one slight problem is that the exposure of the vessel in 1938 may have exposed, because waterlogged blue clay, bugs can't grow and eat away at the wood fibre, but that exposure in 1938 might have caused some problems. So it's that to take into account. But and the other problem we've got is that being right next to the pub entrance, we've got all the facilities, the electricity and the water pipes, drains and things. And the other thing that would greet us when we went down was these big concrete slabs about 1 meter down. So this has limited us to where we can go in. We had to go in at an angle with this stuff. And it wasn't until yesterday afternoon that we finally reached the wood. And so we're excited now. We're there, and we should be able to get a good idea of what's down there.
Yeah, and so are we going to have another Richard III car park discovery on our hands here? It's very exciting.
We don't know. It's going to be some weeks before we get the material analysed. And that's really my job. I'm not an archaeologist. I'm a scientist on on this, who's also a local Viking enthusiast, as you said in the introduction. So it's of great local interest for me, and it's an exciting scientific challenge as well. We've waited years for this opportunity, and we're very grateful for the pub, Lisa Jones, the landlady, and Green King have absolutely been superb, really. But we've got a week to get it sorted. They let us start the work last Saturday, and we need to be finished by this Saturday, really. And I think we've got a good chance now for getting what we want.
Does that add a little bit of pressure then, Stephen? Because you've got that short amount of window that obviously you can't rush it. You've got to take your time. Is there any added pressure then to get it done so quickly? There
is, but we brought in a professional archaeologist friend of mine, Chaz Jones, has been working on battle sites in Yorkshire and things, and we've got a local organisation, Wirral Archaeology, the amateur archaeological group, and lots of other helpers, and it's gone really, really well, and the camaraderie amongst the team has been fantastic. So
that's brilliant.
It's worked well. Of course, we were desperate to hit the wood, and yesterday when we got there was such a great relief. And we got bits of metal and things coming out, which I think comes from the rivets and things. So we're basically going down now at different angles and just peppering the area with boreholes to try and get as much as we can before we close off and put good all the paving slabs and things that have been lifted up. But during the week, the customers of the pub have been really interested in what we're doing. They come along and say, what's going on here? Yeah. They're really, and cars going past have been hooting the horns and things. Not supposed to do that really, but it's a sign that what we're doing.
The support is there for the community. Yeah. And I'm sure Lisa, the landlady, will probably be working on a new name for a new ale, won't she? I'll have a pint of the Viking, please.
If you pass the railway in pub, you won't see a railway or train on the signpost. It's actually a fucking ship.
Oh, is it? How weird is that?
Well, this rumour has been going on for the last 15 or 16 years, actually, when the sketch, the McRae sketch, McRae's were the people that, or John McRae Sr. was the person who found the vessel and sketched it all those years ago. But since 2007 or 2006, when the pub put in a planning application to build a patio area where part of the car park is. It went through the local county archaeologist, and that's when the sketch of the boat came to light. So it's really taken us this long, and it's a lot of red tape and all sorts. We won't go into the details. It's taken us this long to get to the point where we can actually go down, and in a way which is not going to expose the vessel, going down with these augers. So it's great.
It's more than great.
It's not a long ship. It's a smaller vessel than that, and it's likely to be some sort of fishing boat or transport vessel. Whatever. We're going to get it dated, and if it dates back to the Viking Age or whatever, then, or if it's shown to be an ancient boat or proved to be an ancient boat, then we'll all be very excited. Obviously, we'd like it to be something from the Viking Age.
Yeah, no, it'd be brilliant. Stephen, thank you so much for taking the time to discuss. It's very, very exciting. Good luck over the next couple of days, because I know they're vital, and no doubt we'll be speaking to you again soon. When it's all confirmed.
Yeah, and it's great, not just for Wirral, but the whole Merseyside, really, if we find it is as exciting as we believe it to be.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Fantastic. Thanks, Professor. Great to speak to you.
Kevin.
Cheers, all the best.
Bye.
That was Professor Stephen Harding, an acknowledged expert on Viking settlement and culture on Wirral. So they've got the next couple of days where they're going to be digging it up, and then they're going to label it and and announce exactly what it is. So that won't be the last time we hear this story on Radio Merseyside. We'll be bringing you up to date on that one over probably one day next week, I think, on Snelly's show. We'll probably have Professor Stephen back on again for a bit of an update.